And we're live. Hello, and welcome back to another week of the Fantasy League podcast. Today we have a very special guest, two-time champion, three-time champion,
A three-time champion over here.
three-time champion,
Back-to-back, only back-to-back champion, I think.
only repeat champion. You know that's hard to do in the NFL and also in this fantasy league. Mr. Jordan Nelson, glad to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Glad I could fill in for the sickly CT. Must have been too many points last week. Got him sick.
He scored so many points that he got sick and couldn't make it this week. So we'll just jump right in to go over last week's matchups, and I will start sharing my screen.
Do it.
I might freeze up at times because the internet isn't great here, even though I have fiber. So
at least your fiber isn't cut like some other people in this league.
Yeah, I feel like that happens every other week. Alrighty, let's start with the blowout of the week. That's what we like to start with. I did not see this as the blowout. I thought CT would win, but it'd be very close with Jack's stacked team. My notes for this one was CT with Patty Mahomes with 49 points, all on his own. That's almost more than Bryson's whole team for the week. Paired with a coming out party for Saquon.
Yeah.
31, and everyone was in double digits except defense and tight end for CT. Jack got off to a terrible start. Bills scored 31 points, but a 0 from Knox. Jack relying on Herbert and his two top receivers. Herbert did his part. He just didn't hit Allen, who got hurt, and Williams. I mean, they combined for 7 points. It's not an ideal recipe for victory. What did you take from this?
Yeah, same thing. It's, Jack bet hard on those Los Angeles Chargers, and yeah, Herbert just threw the ball to Devontae Carter and Gerald Everett. So I don't think anybody would have guessed that. So
No.
Yeah, that was tough. And now Allen being out, I think Jack's got some good guys on his bench, but bounced back. So yeah, that was a tough one. And then, yeah, I think there's three things you can always count on, and that's death, taxes, and CT having Patrick Mahomes and Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, just another strong start for CT, who, yeah, will probably win this league again.
Yeah, so we're all playing for second, which is still fun. I mean,
to
get on the podium is fun.
You make a little bit of money there.
You make a little bit, and you get a little pride. We'll go into, this was a fun one. We'll go into Jerry and Wes. Let's see what I have notes for this close matchup.
Probably the best matchup of the week. It was close, and you guys actually put up respectable points. So I'd say this was definitely the best matchup of the week.
It was. My first note was, God damn it, two teams over 100 points, and it doesn't go my way against Wes and his not bottom tier team.
Yeah.
That note was word for word what I had in previous notes, except I switched out Wes for Shmi. So I guess I had already written that from last year. I put knew it would come down to Russ. Was hoping if Russ gets the points, Denver would at least win. I've talked to you in the other group about my survivor scenario, and that's about the worst case scenario for me was Russ did enough to beat me, but didn't win. Kelsey, I put Kelsey once again, proving he's the best tight end in the league. I don't think a lot of tight ends scored points this week, and Kelsey had a monster game.
He did. I think he's been the most productive pass catcher in the last 5 years. There were some stats about him having over 1,000 yards every year. But yeah, he's just the best pass catcher in the game, probably.
It's disgusting. I put Philly D giving up 21 points late in the game. Like, Philly was up 38-21, I think, and they gave up a couple touchdowns. That didn't help. I mean, it was such a close matchup that that could have came down to the wire.
Yeah.
Not putting in CEH. I didn't really trust CEH.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. Nobody talked high on him, and he wasn't great last year. I had him, so yeah, I don't blame you there.
I need DJ. That's my DJ to pick it up for with Baker next game. Otherwise, I may have spent a little bit too much money on a scrub. I thought he'd be a lot better with Baker after one game. Didn't look the case. Do you have any other notes from this matchup?
No, that's yeah, you pretty much hit on it. Like I said, Kelsey's the guy. I don't know about DJ Moore. Baker's never really had a wide receiver that's been fantasy relevant, so
That's
DJ
true.
Moore's probably the most talented that he's had, but I don't know if I see that coming. A big payoff for you.
I did spend a lot on him, so I may have to trade for a receiver. But nicely done by Wes.
Yeah.
His morning games didn't go well, so I thought I kind of had it in the bag. But he got 22 from Kelsey and then 24 from Russ on Monday night, 9 from a kicker, just kind of all added up in those afternoon games, and he got 10 from Connor in the afternoon. So
Yeah. Y'all both put up good points across the board. Like I said, probably the best matchup of the week.
we did, and so that will take us to this other close matchup, but
It was close.
blah
Yeah.
on the points.
Yeah, we know this one came down to Lockett and 3 points for Sutton. And Sutton pulled this one out with a couple late catches. It was looking good for RO at the beginning. But then Sutton caught some good passes in the second half, and that pretty much sealed the deal here. Yeah, Maze's running backs are pretty sick, so that's going to be tough to beat week in and week out.
Yeah, he has what, Taylor and Swift. So my notes were I would have smoked both these teams, but Maze was led by Taylor Swift combo, and now we got bad blood.
There you go.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
With RO losing to Maze. Kamara was a high price for RO and only got him 3 points. I didn't watch this game, but I heard he might have gotten hurt. But
they say he should play this week.
That's good for RO. RO's going to need a better QB in the future. Hopefully he can get Wentz can be that guy. I think he picked him up for $1, so that's pretty good. I think Wentz is better than Lawrence so far. So
he'll throw a lot. We know that
for sure. Maze didn't even play a tight end and still won. So way to go, Maze. Maze, I think he matched his win total from last year. That's pretty impressive.
Strong start
in week 1. This is another disgusting one.
Yeah, after Thursday night, there wasn't much to watch in this matchup at all. Bryson did a good job reverse jinxing Diggs into a solid night, but other than that, no help from anybody. And Shmi pretty much riding the coattails of Josh Allen, and again, not much on that bench. And Najee going down, as people were talking about. He said himself he was healthy, but obviously that foot thing came back, and he's injured now.
Yeah, I haven't heard the latest. It looked like he got rolled up on his foot. Like
Yeah,
it's limited, so
we'll see.
That's better than nothing. I think this was one of the last matchups I wrote notes on. Another matchup we predicted correctly, but didn't go the way I expected. Bills Mafia got half his points from the Thursday night game. His Sunday squad didn't do shit, but that was enough to beat up as well as. Sorry, that was enough to beat. Might as well have been inactive Cam Akers, hurt Dak, and Zeke. Only 3 players combined from this matchup scored in double digits. That's gross. I don't even really want to talk about it anymore. So hopefully Najee gets healthy for Shmi. That's gross. Bryson's not off to a great start.
I don't think so.
I think I started typing your name for notes on these, and then I had to go to a meeting, so I'm just kind of winging it from here. Worries. So do you have any notes on these guys?
So basically I spent $56 on my top 2 wide receivers, and they combined for 3 points. So that's not a great ROI there. CB spent $61 on his 2 wide receivers for 35 points. So that was pretty much the difference there. I wouldn't say the rest of our teams performed up to snuff. Pretty much came down to his wide receivers were better than mine. Derrick Henry and Darren Jones both, lackluster weeks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a pretty forgettable week for me, and CB put up a good week there.
Yeah, I thought Pittman was kind of held in check, I guess, until the end of the game. Then he started balling out. Burrow had 5 turnovers and still put up 26 points because they were down. That's a good game script for him. Higgins, I think, has a concussion, so
It looks like
It's
he
like
might play, but yeah, that was tough.
that's good because he, I think he has Daryl Henderson to replace Mitchell, so
Hmm.
that's
Yeah, not terrible.
not terrible. But CB with a solid win, 98 points. Anytime you can get to 100, you're going to be in, I think, a matchup
Yeah.
unless you're playing
Right.
CT. So, uh, final one.
Yep. Bit of a blowout here too.
I thought Taylor would beat Scales, but I thought it'd be a lot closer. Trey Lance was literally playing in a lake, so I'm not sure what they. Um, Zero from Cal Komet. That sucks as a tight end. That was such a terrible weather game.
Yeah.
ETN Jr. is, I think ETN is one of the biggest surprises. I think he's going to take a backseat to Robinson all season. So that's a big surprise that I don't think a lot of people saw coming. But Gabe Davis, Adams, as CT would say, getting peppered with targets. I think he had like 17 targets. So
Yeah.
great wide receivers just wasn't enough to overcome the absolute stud of, Justin Jefferson. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he looks pretty good. So they've got the Rams offensive coordinator, is that correct, as their coach now?
Mm-hmm.
So he's the new Cooper Cup, I guess. So that'll be nice for Taylor all year. I've got down that Scale spent $72 on his two running backs, and they put up about 13 points. So that's almost as bad as an ROI that I had on my wide receivers. So yeah, he's going to have to hope that, those guys turn it around for him to have any luck this season, but still put up 93 points. So, that's something to be positive about with a bad quarterback and bad running back. So
Yeah, that is respectable. Got 17 from his defense. I didn't realize Buffalo
that's not, but Buffalo, they look like they can do that every week if they did it against the Rams.
for sure. Fournette played a good game. Stevenson kind of took a back seat, just like ETN Jr. I think there's going to be a three-headed monster with Harris, and I guess Montgomery got a lot more carries than people thought. So he may be looking for a second running back, but very solid first week, 122 with this combo of Cousins and Jefferson that just had to kill Scales every time he checked his phone or
Yeah.
was watching that game of that connection. So, any other takeaways from the first week?
No, I think it's stuff changes week to week, but yeah, there were some blowouts and some really close ones, but I feel like it was pretty low scoring, mostly overall. So, but I think that's expected in the first week as things shake out.
Yeah, in those morning games, I feel like a lot of underdogs were really close into games, and there just wasn't a lot of scoring, a lot of unders in the totals. So not a lot going on in the afternoon, but it picked up in the afternoon, and
For sure.
Monday night destroyed me. So that was fun. Anyway, that was your week one recap. It was fun to get back in the league, and the next video we'll go over we'll go over week two matchups. All right, let me stop this one.